Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stone Face Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are here with episode 11 of Macross 7. I'll be honest, I wanted to make a joke about you telling us about your Macross Frontier AMV, but I realized that that would be spoiler heavy if I asked you to do so, so why don't you go ahead and tell us
Yes.
about what happened last time?
Last time, the band is getting another presentation because Akiko is setting up for them in front of the press. But we also get some backstory and explanation of what's really happening. It seems that Ray, which I keep confusing with Roy, because it's easy to do that, was ex-military, and we get a little bit of his backstory. He has connections with well, the brass, basically, especially the commander of the of the Macross 7. I was going to say SDF 1, the Macross 7, and they're working on some kind of project and modifying the now VF-19, so it's out of experimental phase, I suppose, which is Firebombers Basara's mech. The thing is, they were discussing whether it was effective or not, whether they should keep Basara doing what he's doing, and they're like, no, like, oh, okay, yeah, we're gonna keep doing that, even though it doesn't prove to be very effective so far. I mean, we know from an episode before that yes, music can restore people's spiritual, so that is working. It's working on the people of Macross 7, as popular band would, but it doesn't seem working on the enemy. That's the issue that we haven't overcome yet. Um,
You were just
so
ripping into this whole no more experimentation thing.
yeah,
Operation M,
and
by the way, is what I believe
mhm,
they called it. Also, I just want
yeah,
to throw out there real quick, since we're in that moment of your recap. If we're right, or if I'm right, I don't know if you've ever bought into my theory or not, that Giggle and company don't have spiritua,
uh-huh.
then the idea that it gives spiritua to the people who lost their spiritua, it
Mhm.
might then give spiritua to the people who never had it to begin with. In which case, it might be working on them. We don't know if they're not sampling themselves, or
But they're
their
they're not even
sensors are,
reacting to it.
well, they might not. Their sensors are outward facing, so it's
Mhm.
not like they're scanning themselves either.
Okay, but an aside there, the speaker missile comes in, blares the music at them, and they go like, whatever. Okay, so you did that. Whatever. And they don't seem to have any kind of reaction to it. They're like, oh yeah, I can hear this music. They don't even have the this is strange culture business they had with the
Um,
Centrati. It's like, yeah, whatever.
Spitball here. Giggle, when we first see him,
Hmm.
doesn't have that much reaction, right? He reacts the same way to everything. As
Hmm.
time has gone on through the series, he has been cursing at his leaders throughout about,
Hmm.
you're just sending me on a hit and run. You're not telling me what's going on, blah, 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 blah. Assumedly, they've been doing this for over 500,000 years.
Hmm.
Might be that the spiritual reaction we're seeing is him doing this whole rebellious phase. This could be new events.
Or well, they say they come out of hibernation every 500,000 years, if I remember correctly. So it's not
So,
that they've been doing this continuously for
I
500,000
mean, we
years. It's
don't
that they
know.
come.
We
I
don't
mean,
know.
that's what they say. We can't. They say, "Oh, every 500,000 years we come out of hibernation."
I
So,
don't remember that, but I don't think it's worth a point unless you're going to make it a point to the whole argument.
well, it's kind of the point
If this
of,
guy has been rebellious for 500,000 years, or it's every segment of 500,000 years, then it's a wonder that he's still around. Versus if
yeah,
the song, the spiritua, is doing something to him. Like I said, when we first see him, he's just a fighting guy. He goes in, he goes out. But the longer we've spent with him, the more rebellious, the more uppity he's been. So
and also it doesn't seem to have any other effect on any of the other pilots as well. They're like, "Okay, just do your job. Okay, fine, whatever." Like literally, we had a guy who had a speaker missile land on his feet, and he's like, "Yeah, no, we're gonna have to kill these guys. Ah, don't worry about it. We have all the orders. Okay, fine." And he just leaves.
I don't know. It makes
Like,
them angry.
does it really make them angry?
Oh, you haven't heard Gamlin shouting?
Yeah, but that seems. I mean, I think gambling is the what was his name of the board, so I can actually look it up. He is the Quamzen of Macross 7.
No, no,
Yeah.
no. I would not. I like Gamlin. Gamlin. I'm not saying I don't like Wamsin, but Quamzim was chaos. Quamzim was literally the backstabber. How, there's
Yeah,
no
I
way
like
in
her. Yeah,
hell. There's no way in hell Gamlin is chaos or the backstabber.
I think that's just
Gamlin
what he's
is
working
order.
up to. He's working up to that point.
Giggle is Quamzim.
I'll giggle. Yeah, no, yeah, no question.
Yeah, Gamlin is.
It's one of ours. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I'm trying. I can't even think of who Gamlin would be. He's not Roy, obviously.
not quite.
I don't
Actually, he
know.
doesn't. I don't think he has a. Well, the closest counterpart that he would add, in fact, would be Macross Plus. He would be Gould.
I was gonna go Macross Zero and say Shin.
Not really.
I think he's more Shin because Shin was more emotional and also trying to figure shit out. So I think he has more qualities with Shin. Who did you say Gould?
Yeah.
No, Gould was.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I guess you
I
could
mean,
take his anger as Gould's kind of anger, but Gould's anger was off kilter. Whereas Gamland is just shouty.
yeah, but he has that same like, oh, have this project. I this is my job. I want to do it well. And here comes this jackass who's just interrupting everything, right?
I mean, I could see it, but I'm not. I'm gonna say it's in my mind he's more Shin than Gould because the elements of Gould that you're latching onto are the angry aspects, whereas Gamlin has a lot more of a lighter quality to him when he's not shouting at Basara. Because even when he's investigating shit, it's more of a Shin level investigation than Gould's. I'm gonna kill everybody in my path if they don't figure this out.
Anyway,
Maybe he's a combination of Shin and Gould.
let's go back to the recap. There's a concert happen. The infiltrators show up to steal everyone's spiritual, right? Especially the band spiritual. Spiritua. It says spiritua. There's no U there. Um, and they get chased. A guy shows up with a suspiciously looking M16, and can get a shot in one of these of the infiltrators. So because they get trapped in a corridor, such trying to escape, and tosses a gun to Ray. Ray grabs a gun and tries to shoot one of these guys, but can't, and gets tossed to the side and gets wounded by a piece of metal. One of the grates, I suppose, is one of the grates that fell from the ceiling because this guy they did the whole what's it called air vent infiltration business. And eventually he gets wounded. There's a fight, um, and this guy finally chases him off by shooting one of them in the shoulder, but doesn't appear to do much of anything. And Ray, I have to keep preparing myself that it's Ray, ends up in the hospital. But because Basara's mech is in the shop, and that shop is secret, he's not supposed to know that part. When the enemy attacks, Ray leaves the bed, right? To pursue to get the mech, nearly gets killed but survives. Um, and Basara gets to jump into the fighter and do what he does, which is not much to do about anything ultimately. He does say he's singing better, I guess. That's the only thing he has. So, well, I'm singing better now. But
No, because the
mostly this
previous episode,
mo-
previous episode, we went through about practicing.
yeah. What we're having is basically this was the Explore Ray's background, that he was a former pilot, that he disobeyed orders, and a friend of his got killed when they were fighting Centrati enemies,
Stefan.
Stefan, Stefan, and that what's happening with Basara is really a secret operation by the military to try to pull a, well, it says Operation M. I could be they tried to pull a Minmay, literally. It's like trying to work before. So yeah, try to use music and culture to try to defeat or drive away the enemy. Maybe. I'm not sure because we don't know exactly the nature of spiritua. It's supposed to be tied to strong emotions. They're sampling it. There's a bunch of stuff happening. So still a lot of questions unanswered.
I mean, I'm pointing out, as you brought up, is the first time we've seen the actual military.
Mm.
I mean, not like the Air Force or whatever you want to say that the fighters are. Like, green outfit, gun-toting military people.
Yeah. And and we found out that Akiko was a ex-girlfriend of Ray's.
You mean of Stefan's?
No, Ray's.
Stefan's.
Stefan's? I thought it
Stefan's.
was Ray's.
No, you
I thought
said.
Akiko.
Maybe this is why I was laughing and you weren't doing much. You said you're gonna find out that Akiko is Ray's ex-wife, and then she says
Yeah.
I was Stefan's ex-girlfriend, and you said close
Oh,
enough, and I was like,
uh,
that was not close at all.
I thought that I thought that she said that she was Ray's ex-girlfriend, not Stefan's.
No, no, that's apparently just how they know each other. Is that
Oh,
he's like, Stefan lost his life because of me. We were best friends, and then oh god, if you have you ever seen anything of Legend of the Galactic Heroes?
bits and pieces, but no.
Okay, there's a relationship in that's essentially the same. That I lost my best friend in this whole military assault, and now I spend a lot of time with his girlfriend in a non. I don't know. I don't even know it's non-romantic. It's in a seemingly non-romantic, but we're still helping each other in our lives sort of way.
Yeah, but I get the feeling that Akiko is developing emotions for Ray and vice versa.
I don't know. I mean, I certainly don't feel that from Ray's side because Ray just seems happy about fucking everything. So it's hard to read Ray what Ray's
Yeah.
excited for. Ray was just
Hmm.
as happy to get a concert, to get a record deal, as he was to go fishing on the Riviera. So it was
Yeah.
Ray's a hard read. Same with Akiko. So I don't know. I don't get anything from those two.
Yeah, I'm thinking that they're because there's also Mylene says, "Oh, we're going to talk about adult things," which seems to be that Akiko is trying to tell Mylene how to deal with Basara or gambling, either way.
What was that your read?
Uh,
My read was that they were going to talk more about Ray's backstory.
yeah, true. And Mylene was going to talk about Akiko about Ray, right? So I think there was certainly implication that there was girl talk, basically.
I don't know. I just thought it was gonna be more Ray backstory shit that we were just gonna do off camera, just to inform Mylene of shit that we don't know. I didn't think it was gonna be anything about Basara. I'm doing
Yeah,
the Bechtel test on this that they are not talking about. Well, I
man.
guess technically they are if I'm talking about Ray's backstory. It's a failure either way. I just assumed that it wasn't gonna be all Basara all the time.
It could be gambling.
It could be, but I don't think Gamlin's even in the picture. Gamlin only seems to enter Mylene's mind when Gamlin is in the scene. Or
True.
she's seeing like Gamlin on like the news fighting shit, or
Yeah.
otherwise, otherwise Mylene only talks about what's literally happening in front of her. She's a
I mean, she's a
14-year-old
14-year-old
girl.
girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that I
well, a
hate that
14,
we
just a 14-year-old.
I hate that we both boxed her in by that on the same moment.
I
I
mean, they
would
keep
appreciate
repeating it. Yeah.
yeah, but I would appreciate if one of us had an alternate theory. Oh, I hate
I
that.
would say I would take out the girl part and just say she's just a 14-year-old and leave it at that.
Well, I don't know. Uh, anyway, anything else to say before we get into this?
No.
All right. Well,
All
with
right, my
anything
friend.
else, let's go ahead and get on in.
But before we get started,
Make sure that you hit the like button.
Hit that subscribe button.
Comment down below to feed that algorithm.
on top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
Unfiltered.
Uncensored.
And uncut.
as well as some early access stuff,
You can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
See, look at it. Look down. Okay, never mind. They're built into the hill. Never mind. I guess I should have realized that. I've lived in a house like that before. Just from the pan down and the CGI effect, it looked like they were sideways into the hill. And it's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
if there's like some sort of weird gravity effect and it's doing a whole horizontal thing, it's like,
Yeah.
no. You can see everything else is just all into the circle. It's a flat earther's wet dream.
Hmm.
This is going to happen eventually. It's either that or it's the explanation of why the area is so ruined that they live in. But that doesn't work because it's their first encounter in the first episode with these people.
Yeah.
But that's the mysterious thing that I was trying to pick up on. in like
I
the
guess
first
they
notes that I brought up.
I guess they can do a Birdman and fly to space and time.
Who's they?
The enemy.
Well, no, they've never been given any thought about going through time, except the same way that we all go through time. That normal thing that nobody ever comments on when they're talking about travel. The only way you bring that up in a conversation about travel is if the ETA is so large as to be necessary to be mentioned.
ねえ、レイって何やってた人なの？パイロットよ。軍のエリートパイロット。
I mean, I would be interested in hearing that. Like, what's the ETA for the Macross 7 to get to the Galactic Center? So we know how long this trip is meant to take. Like, is Max going to be the
Oh, there
first
you go.
captain in a line
He
of
was
captains?
Stefan's girlfriend, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you have to tell me to see that. I knew that. I saw it the first time.
Yeah, but I didn't see it. I missed it.
Yeah, well, we had a conversation about it. Tell me to see the stuff that I was wrong about.
We have the highways, yeah.
主役や主役。テレビ初出演でいきなり主役なんて。
I told you she was getting the lead role.
Yeah, and I told you be happy about it when I said it this time. So, boom. I don't know. I got no legs.
だって私リンミンメよ。
So, this is Macross Frontier, is it?
喜んじゃいけないわけ？
喜ぶのは勝手だよ。
なんなのよまったく。ファイヤーボンバーの晴れ舞台よ。
Which is interesting, of course, her parents knew Lin Minmay, so did she ever knew? Is she old enough to have known Lin Minmay? I don't think so.
No.
No, she didn't. She didn't.
She's 14. Lin Minmay left for the Galactic Center in 2012. So,
ほらね。
I love how they're apparently not casting based on looks either. This girl does not look like... Oh, like, what's the enemy of Megatron? That's...
Guns Prime?
No, the enemy of Cybertron.
Oh, Unitron?
Yeah, I think Unitron sounds right.
Yeah.
わかったバサラ。
なんだよ。
Maybe she was the former singer and she lost her voice. That's why she can go, ah, oh.
恥ずかしいんだ。
あ？
一条光役、繊細で優しい役だもんね。
Does you? Hikaru was a jackass.
I suddenly want to get your art redrawn as Basara playing Hikaru.
No.
お前な。
Oh, I want to see you with Basara's hair, which is so big it goes off camera. I was giving her a moment to talk. Also, that would have been destroyed. You rebuilt one. To be fair, I guess that could be the French.
Vegas.
That could be the
It
French
could be
one.
Vegas. Yeah.
Oh, it's big enough to
I'm
be
not-
the Vegas one. I was thinking of the one that's in France. Paris, I believe.
Oh, so this is the Vegas / Hollywood ship, I guess.
Well, I
Because you
mean,
may
that
have,
was
like-
Gamera, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, not Gamera.
でもさ、やっぱりやり
What's the
たいんだ
Hydra
よね。
called in Godzilla?
一条光。
Lord
やり
Gamora?
たいって言ってねえぞ。
だっていつもだったらもっとムスッとしちゃってやらねえとかわめいてるじゃん。本当はやりたいんでしょ。素直じゃないな。光る。
まったく付き合ってらんねえな。
何よそれ意味深ぶっちゃって。なんなのよ。
ガキにはわかんねえよ。
何よ。自分の方がよっぽどガキじゃない。勝手なことばっかり言って。
おお。
気をつけろよ。
Yeah, you don't trip again.
私、ゼントラーディ軍ブリタイ役に選ばれたスレン・ラングです。
Oh,
カムジン役に選ばれ
hey.
たローレイ・シュマルです。ファイヤーボンバーのリーダー。
Do you remember Love Retie is not my favorite version.
こちらこそよろしく。
That's not. I no. I think this is the.
No,
is
he
it?
got the green shit up and down the side of his head. The Retie in the movie Cybernetics had.
役に選ばれたスレン・ラングです。同じくカムジン役に選ばれたローレイ・
びっくりした
シュマルです。
私のママもあんなに大きかったのかしら。
Yes, your mama used to be that big.
そうか。
God damn it!
Yeah.
I don't want the fucking Miltrati thing to come back. But also, does that imply that they
Oh,
have...
and the music is also from.
But I mean, does that imply that they have miniaturization and Jackal Chan? Anyway, that they have the stuff to make the Zentradi big again on this ship.
Probably.
Why would you even bring that with you?
どうしてここへ
あら、私も出演するのよ。知らなかったの？
Yeah, they're using the footage from. Well, no, that's not.
マクシミリアン・ジーナスに勝るとも劣らないものでありました。今回のビデオは歴史に残る永遠のアイドル歌手リン・ミンメイ。
I guess
Yeah, they're
to
using
be
the music
fair,
from. They're using music from Macross Plus, though.
I guess to be fair, what video would they have of the actual Minmay doing it in the actual events, right? They're using the movie version because the movie version exists in universe. I guess there they
Now-
go. They're explaining it's a movie in universe.
それじゃパパもこのビデオに出演するの？
まあ結果としてはそういうことになったわけで。
パパ。
ただいまスペシャルゲストの一人マクシミリアン艦長が
Do you think they're doing it because one of them is trying to spark their relationship again? So they're forcing this whole movie, let us relive our thing again?
これは統合軍とシティオフィスの宣伝ビデオだ。
Or that?
確かに昔のパパやママの活躍ばかりが目立った台本になってるわ。
俺は降りる。
なんでよ、主役は
Also,
私
how do you know what parts are
そういう問
inaccurate?
題じゃない。
どういう
She probably
問題
told,
よ
told the story
お前には
from
分かん
the
ねえよ
sources that they
なん
are.
でよまたガキにはわかんないっていうつもり？
まあ待て、主役はともかくとしてだな。ファイヤーボンバーにとっていいチャンスになるってことは確かだ。
I'm gonna hate it if Hikaru
より多くの人々
is singing Firebomber songs.
レイ。
ん
It's a music video thing.
このこと。
Oh, how confusing would it be for you if Ray
そんな
plays
ことどう
Roy?
でもいいや。俺には関係ないからな。
バサラ、本当にやめんの？
Oh, how Hikaru of him.
Yeah, that is a Hikaru thing for him to do.
客寄せパンダの役は辛いな。
シティオフィスに寄せられた抗議の数々です。マクロス市民は謎の異星人の侵入で毎日不安で怯えています。
Remember, the victim count of the infiltrators is going up.
犠牲者の治療方法もわからない。軍は何をしています？
そう責めないでくれ。まだ確認できたわけではないが、敵のマシンはバロータ 3198XE の第4惑星特務調査部隊のものらしきことが分かった。
たったそれだけ？あなた私がどんな思いでこのビデオの出演を決めたか。
分かっている。それは私も同じだ。
姑息な手段だわ。軍やシティオフィスへの批判をはぐらかすために私たちの伝説的な物語を作るなんて。
Our legendary story.
それで軍やシティオフィスへの批判が交わせるほどマクロス市民は愚かではないわよ。
そうだな。ミリア、どうも嫌な予感がする。何か今までにないことが起こりそうな。
Hey, you remember sometime 30 years ago when you changed your name from Milia to Miria?
驚くべきことです。この種族は一度なくしたスピリチュアを明らかに再生できる能力を持っています。
スピリチュアファームプロジェクトを実行に移す時が近づいたようだ。
我々統合軍はゼントラーディ軍に苦戦を強いられていました。特にエースのミリアこと。
あ、ママだ。あれって巨人の頃？
そうよ。
ねえねえ、ママはなんでマイクロン化したの？パパに恋しちゃったから？
どうかしらね。
でも全然
I mean, not at that time.
変わってない？
全然老けてないし。
ありがとう。
7人も子供産んでこの若さ。ママってやっぱり化け物みたい。
ああ？
パパったらどうしてこんな美人と別れたのかな？
ミレヌ、私たち別れてないわよ。
だって私あの時。
聞きなさい。パパもママも立場上いろいろあるのよ。だから世間にはまだ秘密なの。わかった？
うん、わかったわかった。
So you are divorced.
わかったから
Yeah.
さ。
But you're pretending not to be.
その代わり見張りつけるのやめてよ。
それとこれとは話が別です。
ずるい。
So she has 6 sisters or brothers and sisters, I suppose.
Including that one that got thrown around as a baby.
これから一緒に稽古しない？俺急に一条光役に決まっただろ。少し遅れを取ってるから。
Again, we're not going on appearance, are we?
ってやつ勝手に辞めたんだって。そんなやつの代役なんて初めは断るつもりだったんだけどね。ヒロインの君は可愛いから受けちゃった。
I think it's also interesting that they said the United Forces were fighting the Zentradi. No one wants to say UN Spacey anymore, I guess.
事務所空いてるだろ。これから彼女と稽古
Because technically it couldn't be the United Forces back then. You weren't united with the Zentradi yet.
ボビーさんが稽古したいって。
うちの事務所でね、遅くまで引き止めませんよ。それに帰りはマネージャーに送らせますから。さあ、ミンメイ。
Yeah, this guy. I don't like this guy.
I don't know. I don't think you could be like evil conniving guy and look up at Roy and Venus and say that kind of shit.
I think he can get away with it.
まだテレビに出たことないんだって。今度が初めてなんだ。
はい。
Well, technically, one of us has been on TV a lot.
紹介してあげるよ。
あれ、事務所ってこっちですか？
ま、少しドライブしようよ。車の中でも稽古はできるしね。
Yeah.
Also, you gotta believe Michael is somewhere out here with goggles on.
俺はミレーヌの子守じゃないっつうの。
Oh God.
Well, didn't expect a Love Hotel episode. Again, Michael, who would drive out in space and look down at you through the dome, has to be around here somewhere. However, might not be a good thing, because Michael is a creep too.
有名になればいつどこでカメラが狙ってるかわからないから、そんな顔はいけないよ。
いいんです。これも私の顔ですから。
でも有名になりたいんだろ。僕と一緒のところ、芸能記者にすっぱ抜かれればさ、一晩で一躍有名になれるよ。
それって有名って言うんですか？
俺は暴力が嫌いなんだ。奴がよく使うホテルはどこだ？プリトンホテル。
Yeah.
さあ、着いたよ。稽古しようか。
どうもありがとうございました。今日は楽しかったわ。
ちょっと。何わけの
I was gonna say, I don't think it would have worked anyway, unless he was planning to drug her.
もう十分です。
She's too strong-willed to fall for this shit.
ガキじゃないんだから。
ガキって言葉大嫌いなの。
こういうの僕大好きだよ。
何するのよ。
稽古だよ。
スピリチュアルレベル55。
なんだお前。
Go figure, saved by the bad guys.
Oh, he did. He deserved it.
Yeah, it couldn't have happened sooner. Thank God we've got no accuracy when it's needed. Sorry, what the fuck was he up to there? I'm gonna climb over the car.
Why save that guy? Just leave him be. I guess he's a good guy, so he would save him either one.
I don't think it's just because he's a good guy. It's just the whole pacifist nature of I don't want to hurt anybody. I just hope we're not going to use him as the example of we can save people from this coma state. Get it? Not just the infiltrator bloodsuckers.
And there's a girl buying new flowers.
なんだって 一条光をやれだって？
やはりボビーはふぬけ同然になった。出演は
Yeah, he got his life sucked out of him.
He's in a coma.
まあ、そういうわけだ。
That would be a funny. That would be a funny Hikaru play though.
Yeah.
Like Weekend at Bernie's Hikaru.
市長の宣伝かもしれないが、よく考えてみろ。今マクロス船団は謎の敵の襲来を受けているが、何も解明できないでいる。市民は不安になる。さらにはヴァンパイアなる者がシティのあちこちに出没して、ますます混乱している。軍やシティポリスは非難の的だ。いざこざが絶えない。事態は悪い方へと流されていく。これまで保ってきた政治的調和が崩れて、とにかく、もともと一条光はお前だったんだ。ここは何も言わずに引き受けろ。
But what scenes?
Oh, they put him in a... It's better than we usually wear.
I was about to ask what scenes were they gonna have between Hikaru and Minmay.
Yosh, いいポーズだ。このままゼントラーデイ軍の奇襲シーンに行く。
シーン67、スタンバイ OK。
スタート。
Well, what moment is this supposed to be? Because I don't
think it's
remember
when
her
they,
singing.
when they take their joyride. When they take their joyride.
Yeah, but she didn't sing "My Boyfriend Is a Pilot." No.
No, she was. She did sing. And
Well, for one, she was in the back seat, so this is already inaccurate. But and that wasn't "My Boyfriend Is a Pilot." She was singing some other song. Those closest you're gonna get to Hikaru singing Dancing on the Planet Dance. Or any song for that matter. Hikaru wasn't a singer. Though ironically, this should work better for what they're trying to do. They're trying to make an uplifting piece about how safe and secure people actually should feel. So, recording this guy doing anything against the bad guys is better than what they were actually making. Although, since you got the cameras out here, you probably want to record D-Force actually fighting people.
yeah.
You're putting the two things together, but this is nothing like Minmay at the moment. I mean, fighting in a war zone, sure. I mean, singing in a war zone. But Minmay was actually changing shit when she was singing. Did she kiss Typhoon in the movie?
Yes.
Couldn't
Well,
remember if they
Typhoon
changed
forced him.
that.
They forced him. He forced himself on her. They're doing this again.
No. I mean during the giant battle in the movie. I mean.
No.
Because you remember in the show, Typhoon kisses Minmay on the visual.
Yeah, but not in the movie. In the movie, he just is a producer, I think. No, I think he does kiss her. I gotta go back and read.
撮影は続けているんだろうな。
はい、もちろん。
こんな映像が撮れるとは。
I'm going to expect this to be one of the shorts afterwards. The music video made by this guy.
Probably.
この声、ミレーヌさんに似ている。
I think there's going to be evidence for both of us being right. That maybe it's Mylene is the one who's changing everything. I feel like I'm right that it makes them angry.
Again, did that do anything other than?
Well, they keep
The same
flashing
thing
back
in Gambit 1.
between Mylene and Minmay.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, Minmay was doing shit.
Yeah.
I understand that maybe you're inspired by Minmay, but...
またか。
私、分かったような気がする。林民名の物語って作られた伝説よ。時が過ぎていくうちに誇張されただけのおとぎ話なのよ。今作っているドラマのようにね。
I guess
Is
it's
it though?
weird. Well, I guess it's weird to consider that it's forgotten by time when you made a
When
movie
they're
about
making,
it.
yeah.
But I guess it's true that there's a lot of, you know, you have a conversation with somebody, hey, have you ever seen X very important movie to a generation? And they're like, no, never heard of it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're 2 generations removed. So
1 generation removed.
no, I think every 20 years, right?
Yeah, but remember,
A
these are the
generation and a
kids.
half. We're a generation and a half removed. We can't take that for granted. We don't know how old Miria's oldest daughter is. Sorry, Melia's oldest daughter is. So
Probably in her 20s.
yeah, well, that would make her a different generation. Again, a generation's like 20-ish years, and we're like 30-ish years out. So we're a generation and a half. But even then, even 1 generation is enough to forget if you're not like putting it out there. Although weirdly, we are putting it out there because everyone fucking knows my boyfriend is a pilot. Like we sing it at karaoke. Like if he decided to go to a karaoke bar and not a love hotel, I'm sure we
Yeah.
would have been singing my boyfriend's a pilot anyway. Not that we didn't sing it this episode anyway. What's the one Minmay song we're gonna sing?
どこだミレーヌどこにいるわかんない次回スピリチュアファームミレーヌ俺の歌を聴け
So yeah, like I said, around episode 10, we were gonna get into the main story, and I feel like that's where we're at. Just with one little sidetrack about remembering the past. And not the important past, like Ray's and Basara's past. Or Stefan's past, as it were. But, I mean, I like this. I like remembering our old characters, even though we did it in a very weird way that made no sense and actively did not change anything for the story whatsoever.
I mean, again, it's just that, well, kind of like the original, but now they're putting even more parts to it. You know, in the original, it was, okay, the SEF1 has one thing and the Centrati have another. Here, like, okay, we have the humans and the military has one thing and the civilians have another. And then you have the band and then you have the spiritual thing. So they basically taken the same concept and just split into more pieces. Because the civilians in SDF1 were like, we're just here, right? They taken the same idea and
Because
just
you and
split into
Spacey
more
had
pieces.
total authority.
Yeah, and so here's like, I guess the civilians are scared. Yeah, we know that, and we're making this movie, this thing, and I do like the fact that Melia, or used to be Media, and I mean they clearly still have affection for each other. right? They're talking around the
Sorry, yeah, I just
the
realized you
subject.
instantly jumped to a different point, and I just recognized that. You were like,
No, I'm good.
well, no, we're talking about how there's 3 different parts of the government, and they're all doing these different things, but they still love each other. It's like, wait, what?
Because I was talking about Melia and Max. And they're the representatives of the civilian and military, respectively. And they're talking about this. Oh, civilians are scared. Oh, well, we're doing our best, right? We don't know anymore. And he's telling them more or less
Civilians
what he
aren't
knows.
dumb.
Yeah. It's like, but there's a tension there. Like, yeah. And I get this divorce child.
I
Anything
mean, I at
from
least
Miley.
appreciate that makes the reporter right in retrospect. That the reporter did their work and they knew that they're divorced. And they're like, no, we're not. Let's not put that out there right now. Keep pretending.
I get very big Mylene divorced child vibes. It's like either you're divorced or you're together. Make up your mind. And she's like, oh, well, we're not ready. And, Milia's being the parents like, oh, we're not ready to. It's complicated. It's like, that's just stupid, right? I didn't like the whole love motel thing with the creep god. What
didn't go anywhere. That's the best part.
Didn't go anywhere, but it was still kind of.
Also, I've changed my mind since the first thing I said. This is the worst episode of the whole show so far.
Okay.
The Meltron. They brought back the Meltron, and fuck that. I hate that.
Oh, come on. I mean, it could be just that the females are known as Meltron and the males are known as Centron. That's it. They're all
Nope, they
Centrati.
were Centrati in the show. They're fucking bringing back the worst part of Do You Remember Love? Well, second worst part. I do not like the Centrati character design changes, and they decided to go with from now on. So I don't like that, and I'm hard for me to rank what's worse: the Centrati design changes or the whole fucking Meltron thing. I hate
I
both
didn't
of
mind
those.
it, so
I know you don't.
I didn't mind it.
I know you don't, but I hate the Meltron, and ever since then, all I've asked for is, please God, do not bring the Meltron back. And this is it. They mentioned it in a thing that was not Do You Remember Love, which means it's a thing. So, it is the confirmation that the whole Meltron thing was a thing. And I don't like that.
Clearly, it was a thing, but not in the way it was displayed in the movie, because we have the history of that they were fighting the Centrati. When they talk about fighting the Centrati, they just talk about the Centrati.
Here's the thing. We know that the stuff in SDF Macross was the real thing. That's the real thing. Anything that happens in Do You Remember Love is then propaganda until it becomes the real thing.
Yeah.
Like, anything in SDF Macross was real, so Fulmo should look like fucking Fulmo. Red-haired, nerdy-ass idiot. Nerdy-ass giant idiot. Until we make the propaganda real and have head broccoli Fulmo is now that's what he really is. So the propaganda movie becomes real when we choose to take stuff from it and put it into what is now actually happening. So when they say the Meltron were really there, they're really the Meltron, and it's like, well, Milia here isn't going to argue that because she's going to say, oh yeah, no, I was with the Meltron. It's like, well, fuck. The Meltron were real. It's no longer propaganda. So, damn it.
Yeah.
We've gone back on what we were before. Yeah. I guess I want now somebody to debate the fact that Quamzim and the Meltron leader had a thing going on. Well, no, they couldn't have. She died. She died. She's like the first person to get hit with the super beam.
No. I think the problem is that you're taking they Meltron, so everything in the movie now it's canon. No.
Look, if she didn't argue the whole Meltron thing, then that's everything up in the air. And if everything is up in the air,
no, because they actually said it in this episode. When they're talking about Mylene is looking at the script. It's like, except for my parents' story, everything else is bad. Everything else is wrong. Like, she knows the real story. Probably got school or something because she went to private school. So like, this is wrong, right? It's like watching a Hollywood movie. You're like, that.
Yeah, but we don't know that script has anything to do with You Do You Remember Love. All they did was they like did the whole Minmay singing on the deck thing. And
And
if you're to be,
they
if
gave
that's
Basara the suit that
if
Hikaru was wearing.
if you're taking Mylene's words to be true, then Minmay singing is wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, except that we saw that in the movie, and then we also saw that in SDF Macross, which means that Mylene's recollection of everything but beyond my parents' a relationship being wrong means that she's also wrong. Because
I think it
Mylene
is
did
wrong.
sing in both SDF and Macross. I'm not talking about singing in general. I mean the moments that we saw the flashbacks to.
Yeah.
That the moments that we saw were flashbacks to SDF Macross. Do you remember love? Which is then just a reflection of her singing in SDF Macross, and nothing about that singing part was wrong. She did them in both, and they were both basically the same, just with the addition of a Kaifun kiss in SDF Macross. So her saying that everything is wrong except for the parents' relationship is wrong about that then, which means anything could be wrong. Also, I just want to go ahead and keep on theorizing that if Quamzim did not suicide charge with the Meltron leader, then Quamzim could still be alive.
I don't think so.
I'm thinking about it. If you were just to say, I have no fucking idea what happened to Quamzim because of the Meltron, what if you were writing your own story about what happened to the backstabber at the end of the war, and you decided to say, well, fuck it, he went on suicide charge. That's an easy way to write off a guy. And in fact, nobody knows what happened to Quamzim. He just vanished. The Meltron leader's fucking dead. She got super blasted by Golg before Golg got suicide charged by Hikaru. Not suicide charged, just got charged by Hikaru. I'm just saying, it took this long, but 4 episodes, a movie, and then 11 episodes for me to start thinking about SDF, Do You Remember Love as something else. Because, Quamzim died Quamzim does die at the very beginning of Do You Remember Love, now that I remember that.
Yeah, he just gets...
So Quamzim's just fucking dead, never mind.
Yeah. Either way, he's dead.
Yeah. I guess I just much prefer the SDF Macross version. The suicide charge, for sex? Because it's not for love. All they talk about is culture, and we know culture for them means fucking. So
yeah,
it's not even like oh, heartwarming. If we survive this, we'll fuck later. It's literally their last words. We'll culture after this.
Yeah.
God, I hope that doesn't come back. That's my new I hope Meltron doesn't come back. I hope culture as a euphemism for sex doesn't come back. I
think it's funny though.
It's funny, but I don't want them to be like, we're gonna do a spiritual farm, and my whole thing of spiritual is another word for culture. The sex farm. Well, think about it. What's a really good way to cause a lot of emotion in a really brief amount of time? It's not. I don't think your first answer is going to be rock music. I think it's going to be something else.
Oh, they're going to be rocking something if that's where they go for.
Oh, God. You know what it is? Way back when we were watching SDF, of course, yes, it was funny. I'll lean back to that, what you said was funny. Back when we were watching SDF Macross, and I kept saying, what we don't need to do is blare music at them. Just broadcast porn to them 24/7. I said that back then. And I think we're coming full circle now.
Yeah. I don't think it's that kind of show. Even with Love Hotels,
I don't
it's not
know.
that kind of show.
I don't know. I don't. There's so much. I'm still gonna say this is the worst episode so far. There's been a lot of mediocre episodes, but this one brought back something I didn't want back, and.
You were warned. I did warn you that there were going to be elements of the movie that were going to carry over.
Yeah, I know.
And we already seen them.
I know. I mean, I'm going to tell you, I don't really listen a lot when you say I warned you, because when you're warning me of stuff, my head is like, oh, he's going to give me a spoiler. So I kind of tune out.
Yeah.
I mean, I have high spoiler defense. I don't want to know. So I try my best not to. But other than that, the flashbacks between Minmay and Mylene did nothing for me.
Um,
I liked seeing Minmay, and I imagine for people who didn't watch anything before this, like they just watched Macross 7 as a new anime that came out,
yeah,
that was something like, whoa, that's
yeah.
weirdly differently animated. What's that from? That sort of thing. But I
Yeah, I
liked
mean, the way it was used. Okay. Essentially, when they did the flashbacks, it's a combination of, yes, this is what we're seeing, but also I think what Mylene was thinking. Because she was, oh, I'm me. She's very excited to do that. And that is used to her for come to the realization of what she thinks Basara is doing. So now they're getting into sync. Like, okay, Basara is not just being an idiot, not working, but he's trying to do the Lin Ming thing, right? Use culture, use music to stop the fighting and win the battle of the hearts and minds of the enemy. It's not working, but he's trying.
I don't know. I got the sense that it was meant to imply the importance of Mylene, or the importance that she might have felt for Minmay.
That too. I mean, you can do more than once. Yeah, it can have multiple layers.
Right, but I just mean the flashing, because the flashing doesn't go Minmay, Basara. It goes Minmay, Mylene. And it's like, I don't get the connection between the two, even
Because,
though they're both
but
singing in a war zone.
when Mylene was doing that, usually Mylene was looking at Basara like, "Oh, wow, yeah, okay." Like
Well,
she was thinking about something, and then at the end she says, "Oh, okay, I get it."
she was singing when it flashes
Yeah.
to her. And not every time she's looking at Basara. Most of the time she's looking forward with the microphone in her hand. Um, I don't know. It feels like they're trying to paint a connection between the two that doesn't really exist. I mean, maybe it exists later in the show, and this is them figuring it out, and then they're going to show us later how this connection exists, but I feel it's disingenuous. It'd be like having Gamlin flying around and being like, oh my god, there's been no greater pilot since Roy Fokker, you know? The person we name all the awards after.
Yeah.
And it would feel disingenuous to invoke their name for the sake of implying that a character from this show is more important than they actually are as of now. Obviously, I think they're going to be more important later when whatever they're up to is actually starting to work. But
Mhm.
right now, they're not that important. Obviously,
No.
Basara is going to be someone who's super important, assuming that their singing actually works, or Mylene, or if it happens to be a combination of the two, is what actually makes it start working. Both people singing at once.
Yeah.
But up until then, I would argue Gamlin is the most important person in the show right now.
Yeah.
Because he
More
fucking.
effective.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, ever since he found out it was fucking Basara, he started shouting, hey, look at me. I'm actually doing shit. Shouting out, the reason why everyone's safe right now? Fucking me. Which actually does really feel like a Roy thing to do.
True.
And, actually, no, I guess it would be his leader that would be the more Roy one. The guy who shows up and then goes out with all the bridge bunnies at once.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And
any final thoughts here?
no. It's just I mean, I like the episode because it has all the callbacks to SCF1, but I really ironically now I'm getting more into the romantic stuff, into the Emilia uh uh Max thing. And don't spoil it for me over at the comments, because don't do that to me.
We don't get
We don't get a
many.
lot, but I
Oh
like
no,
what we
the
got.
comments that we get come from YouTube. We don't get a lot of
Mhm.
Patreon comments about Macross. I think we've gotten like one or two, but everything else has come from the YouTube. And you interrupted me before when I was saying something because you were trying to remember the name of the kimono. I was about to say, well, that'll date the video because Pineapple Salad's the episode that's coming out on YouTube right now.
Yeah.
So that's how far ahead we are on the Patreon side. But I think most of our audience is actually on YouTube when it comes to Macross. I mean, it might
So what
change.
are you waiting for? Subscribe to Patreon. You get the episodes way early.
Well,
Go ahead.
they'll hear
What are you waiting
this
for?
when we're like finishing Frontier. I assume. I don't know how many episodes out we are. Well, I mean, I don't know how far. I think I've said that the recording schedule of this is that we'll be finishing this on YouTube sometime at the end of next year. Because I mean, hey, this is like the only show that we release 2 episodes a week on YouTube. Everything else is 1 episode. So you already double it up. But if you want quadruple the amount, maybe 3 times the amount, I think technically, hit the Patreon. Everything.
There you go.
As soon as we record it.
Yeah.
Other than that, I've been Theta. This has been Lessons. We've been Stoneface Reactions, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?